welcome. Or welcome back. I haven't done this in a little while, other than I recorded a few messages I doubt that I'll upload about the situation that I put myself in most recently in relation to work. Look at this beautiful palm tree behind me. I'm standing under, or sitting rather. Can't say I'm standing, that would be ridiculous. Sitting under this beautiful big old pine tree, man. Must have been here for a couple of 100 years, or maybe not. I don't know how long this park could have been established, honestly, or how big the tree was whenever they relocated it or planted it, or however it is that they did this. If this was a natural tree, if this was a naturally grown from pine cone tree, man, what a monster, in the best way possible. It's just hard to believe that it would grow so far, so fast, so much. And I don't know. Let's assume this park was established in, I think it's got somewhere how or when it was established. Lead him back against the tree, I guess. Let's assume it was established in 1940 or 1950. $75 years. Tree experts, anybody know how much pine trees grow? How quickly they grow? To be fair, whenever I was a kid, this reminds me of my childhood a little bit, and perhaps this is why I'm so partial to pine trees, why I'm sitting underneath a pine tree right now, is pardon my distraction, I'm looking at on the balcony of one of these apartments that are in front of me. They have a bag of potting mix. I know I'm all over the place at this particular moment, so bear with me for a second. But whenever I was a child, I planted, and I don't remember, I'm pretty sure it was a seedling. It's a very, very small pine tree. Already developed to some degree. Got it from a nursery, like a botanical garden or whatever. I think it was more of a nursery, was what they referred to it as. For a school field trip of all things. And man, that thing grew. It was crazy. It must have been whenever I was 5 or 6 or something like that. Whatever young school age. I'm pretty sure it was a kindergarten or first grade kind of trip. Very young. And I watched that pine tree grow. It's unfortunate to say that pine tree had to be cut down because some kind of infection, if you will, happened. And it started dying. And apparently it was the kind of infection where the potential was that it could spread. I don't really know the whole story. This is just what I'm told. I hear this through the grapevine because whenever I was 18, this was after I turned 18 and had left home by this time, because I joined the military, I don't know, probably 26 or 25, 10 years ago. I don't know, something like that. Maybe it was like 28, 29, my age. That's what I'm speaking of. Whenever I was that age, whenever this happened, I'm not really sure the details. I just remember being told after I went home for Christmas one year, and it's been several years since I've been home, to be fair, that this whatever ensued, and it was no longer there. But I remember seeing it before it was cut down, and this thing was 10, 12, 15 feet. It's probably double and a half my height. 15, 18, I don't know, something, maybe 3 times my height. Quite large. So I suppose it's reasonable to believe that that could have happened in 75 years. Look at all this beautiful growth. Well, it looks a little strange at this angle. I'm sitting directly underneath it, so you're just getting the bottom view of the canopy. But nonetheless, I love these trees. And they have such a meaning to me now. Because of their relation to the third eye, if you will. The pineal gland. Coming from the word pine. Pineal. Pine eel. And I suppose there was a reason that I was connected to a tree such as this as a youth. And to be entirely fair to myself, I do find it funny that during the portion of my life in which the infection of this tree that I planted as a youth happened, or at least round about that time, I was going through some stuff. I was really going through some stuff. You could call it addiction, call it whatever you will, but what I've come to refer to it as, and I've recently gone through another bout of this, if you will. I don't like using the fighting terminology or the war terminology or whatever. But an unhealthy relationship with alcohol, to finish that thought. And because I see everything in my life, as a reflection of my internal state. Because that's how it is. That's how it is for you too. Whether or not you realize it or not, it has everything to do with you. It's like your own personal world. The way I'm coming to realize, or not realize, the way I'm coming to view things is we are all literally living in our own realities. All based on our perception. And for the longest time, and I've probably talked about this before in some video that I've recorded in the past, who knows, There's a big backlog of videos that I have, a relatively large backlog of videos that I have not done anything with, that I haven't posted, but I've saved in the hopes that one day, I guess, I would do something with them. Share them with the world, whatever the case. Whatever my thoughts are, for whatever it's worth to anybody else. Because I think that I do have valuable insight. Let's rephrase that though. I don't think. I know. Whether or not anybody is capable of understanding me, which has been a problem in my life as I've perceived it. So once again, it comes back to me. Had a problem with people misunderstanding me. A problem. Challenge is probably the better word. And really, I'm seeing that as illusion. Just like everything else, really. It's an illusion for the sake of awakening, for the sake of coming closer to yourself, for the sake of self-reflection, introspection. And really just I guess utilizing the word in the sense in which I've come to be most familiar with meditation, which is becoming familiar with yourself. And so here I am again, underneath a tree, out in nature, really most likely, I say most likely, but almost certainly where I should be. I'm feeling chills as I say that, and some of the other things that I've said throughout this have been doing the same thing. This is my indication of recognizing truth within the body. This is the way that my body tells me, hey, you're onto something. But I say all this to say that I say recently, but within the last 7 months, it depends on how you perceive time, I suppose. That's a long time for some people. But the years just pass by, and the more you give in to the programs that you're running, the more that happens. The unconscious programs, that is. Time just slips away. Time keeps on slipping. That song. Comes to mind. I find myself getting a lot of messages through music. I find myself getting a lot of messages in nature. Really my whole life. And I suppose this makes me think of the idea of meditation as it's seen today, or as it's perceived today based on yogis, sadhus, whatever you wish to refer to them as, who sit quietly in silence and say vipassana, focus on their breath, whatever the case, as being seen as a form of meditation. But I've heard something said by someone, several people really, with my you could say excessive, but I wouldn't call it as such, or obsessive desire to learn more and looking into spiritual things and whatever. I've realized, or not realized, recognized, remembered. That's the more appropriate way, because I think all of this, and the reason why my channel is called as such, Remembering Perfection, is it's all a matter of remembrance. Everything that exists is already there. Everything that is, will, and has existed is in existence now, in this time, in this space. It may not be perceivable to all, but it is here. Where do you think ideas come from? It's not nowhere, although you could argue that it is from nowhere. The void, if you will. Your own internal void. Tapping into something larger than yourself, or however you would like to perceive it. But to get back on track, I'm very open-minded. And if you listen to anything that Jordan Peterson says, open-minded people, psychologically speaking, can very easily shift from one topic to another. So you'll have to bear with me if you have any interest in listening to what I have to say, because one thought leads to hundreds of other thoughts. But where I was about to say that life in general is meant to be the meditation. And so everything that's around you can take as signs and symbols and synchronicities and whatever words really make you happy in that relation, or in relation to that. And in this moment, I'm noticing to myself, I have this feeling that I need to apologize or explain myself, or help people to understand. This duty to help people to understand. Maybe that's not the purpose, really. I think the purpose is more so to express and let those that already understand get it, and those that don't, no offense, but go away. We're all on our own path. We're all on our own journey in this life. And it's quite a wild ride. And the more you pay attention, the more you become familiar with yourself, as I see it, the more magical everything gets. It's just so amazing. Life is incredible. It's an incredible game, an incredible hologram. Fractal. Because we're all so similar, and yet simultaneously unique. We're all teaching each other things if we care to listen. Life is the best teacher. This experience in the human body is the best teacher. It can be hard. Don't get me wrong. I understand the people that are struggling in life and why they're struggling in most instances. Because it does feel really, really real. That's just an illusion. And that's not to say that illusions are bad, because that would lay upon this entire experience that it's bad, and that's how you get to hell. Hell is nowhere outside of you. Not like the Bible talks about, or like preachers have touted for years. Hell is in the mind. And just the same way, heaven is in the mind. The world is mental, and your perception creates reality. So may I implore you to question your reality, especially if you don't like it very much. If you don't like the experience that you're having, if you don't love it, absolutely, wholeheartedly, unconditionally love your experience. What is it that you're doing that is contributing to that perception? Is it running a pattern of continuing to go back to 9 to 5 jobs, if you will? Is it staying in a relationship in which you aren't receiving the things in that relationship that you desire, that you wish for, that you were told that you were supposed to get? I mean, I hate to say it for anybody out there that doesn't want to hear it. And really, even me saying that is ridiculous. It's like a cop-out to some degree. I don't hate to say it. You have to take accountability for your life. You have to take accountability for your actions, for the position that you're in, for the habits that you allow to remain in your life. Like I was talking about the unhealthy relationship I had with alcohol that I've put behind me. Letting go is the easiest thing to do. Holding on to things is what is exerted, what is draining your energy. But we've made it out to be this difficult thing in some way. But this will be the second time now. For instance, just as a personal example from me, this will be the second time that I have without any real effort let go, for instance, my relationship with alcohol. I just stopped. Cold turkey. You don't need to wean yourself off. You don't need to make excuses for yourself. And this goes for any other thing in your life. You don't need to wean yourself off or make excuses. You just need to decide to see things differently and make a different decision. And that word decision is important. Myron Golden, he's a pastor. Very interesting information that he talks about, and he was very, very much so, it's the word I'm looking for. Important. It's not the best word, it's not the word I was looking for exactly, but very important in my journey. Not to say that I've arrived. We don't arrive. It's an ever evolving, ever deepening of knowledge of self that you go through if you are dedicated to that path. But he said, or he taught me something very valuable about the word decision. It's a little, I think it's Latin roots. And I don't remember exactly the Latin word that it comes from. Side. It's split up similarly to that though. And it's to cut off. To cut off from the possibility of anything else. Making a choice is not that. Making a choice is leaving the option for something else to happen. I know that we're kind of splitting hairs and talking about, I guess, perhaps the word semantics is appropriate here. But it's as simple as that. Hello. I'm doing good. How are you? Oh, cute dogs. Nice old gentleman with two beautiful dogs. I don't know what kind of dogs. Look like maybe... Is that a pit bull? Maybe. Big black dog and brown and black. Doesn't do it justice. I don't know if you can see them. They're over there. Could have just flipped my camera with the little button on my phone, but why? Whatever. Who cares? I can flip my phone manually just as easily as electronically. But I guess the point I was gonna make is that, like, you get to decide who you will be in every single moment of every day, and you can shift every single second if you wish. It's that fast. It's that easy. It's just about making a new decision and acting as such. You know the old saying, fake it until you make it, or whatever. I see value in that. How about not even worry about faking it? How about just make it? Shia LaBeouf, do it. Just do it. Or Nike, or whatever. There's these ideas already out there in the world. We're all multi-dimensional, and everything that we see is the same way. Everything exists on multiple planes, or however you wish to view it. And you could take it on one level, the level of, oh, that's a brand, and I know it because, like, I associate it with that brand or whatever. You don't have to limit it, just like you don't have to limit yourself. You're a limitless creator being. So do you like your creations? Do you like the boxes you've put yourself in? You know, you don't have to be in that box. You hold the keys. You always have. They're within you. It's just a matter of recognizing that you did it. It's you. It's always been you. And that applies to everything. All the people you meet, all the things you see, all the experiences you have. You asked for this. You demanded it. And you could look at it like the way that I've heard it talked about numerous times, whether it be Dolores Cannon, love her as well. Instrumental, that was the word that I was looking for earlier when talking. How I would forget that word whenever I was a band geek. Band geek. Just another fucking label, but excuse my language. Or not. Or get offended. Whatever. Think I'm a monster for using foul language, if you will. But as she puts it, it's like we all have a life plan. Imagine yourself as a being, because existence never isn't. It always is. You always exist. You're always here. The way I see it again. And I don't know why I feel like I have to preface that with, oh, this is the way I see it. As if I'm wrong about my own reality. If you had agreed to certain terms before coming into this body and agreed to participating in all the experiences that you've had throughout your life. And you could look at Earth like a school. You could look at it like that. You don't have to. You could look at it like tests. You could look at it like challenges. Whatever works for you, really. But the point is to get you closer to God, which is what you are. I am. That's the name of God. And you can be whatever you want to be. Limited, caged, trapped in hell, free, liberated, enlightened. It's your choice. It's your decision. And even I get a little bit caught up with those words sometimes. Because, well, yes, words have meaning. And that's something I've said for a lot of my life. Words have meaning, and yeah, they do. But who decided that meaning? You. So use whatever words feel best to you, by all means. But I encourage you that you can change, you can be better, in your own definition, whatever that looks like for you. There is no limit to the magic that you can experience in this life. I've been seeing so many videos, or so many video titles at least, in my pursuit of remembering what's possible. Levitation, flight, astral travel, for whatever that's worth, which I see as, I mean, it's mental travel, but what isn't? Mental travel in the absence of the body is, I suppose, the way that I would define that. So if you've ever felt like you're in two places at once, I would almost have to consider that astral travel. If you feel like your mind is in one place and your body is another, for instance, you know, you could be on the beach in your mind and really be sitting under a pine tree like me. You could be in heaven in your mind and be sitting under a pine tree. And I don't remember exactly where I was going. But it's your choice. And you're the only one that creates limitations for yourself, I guess, is the point of this. So I suppose I'll sign off here. If you've reached this video and you've listened to me for this long, rambling and sitting in silence and looking around, shifting around and all this stuff, if you can manage your impatience or whatever it is that you would refer to it as, or I would refer to it as, I appreciate you. I love you. And even if not, I love you too. Though I don't think you'll get to see me expressing that to you in that instance. Either way, I wish the best for you, no matter who you are. And I just want you to know that you're amazing. You're amazing. Even all the limitations that you create for yourself. It's amazing that we can put ourselves in these situations. It's amazing. And I hope you find the courage in your heart, which is really the point that you need to connect with the most, to become more and more of your beautiful self without the limitations, because they're not necessary, though I know it can feel that they are. There are many pressures put on us in this life, and I understand. I feel for you. And I'll enjoy releasing these things with you eternally in this present moment, which is all there is. Goodbye.